Hello and welcome to a new edition of our magazine show brought to you by Channels TV, DW, and KTN. I'm Nel Taigbe here in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, and joining me from Kenya is my colleague Joy. Hello, Joy.
Yes, indeed. Welcome to yet another edition of Eco at Africa. My name is Joy Doreen Bira, and we've got an exciting show lined up for you today. Here's what we have coming up. On this week's show, we'll go to Uganda, where an organization is helping farmers to improve their chances in the marketplace by getting their products organically certified. We visit a company in Europe that makes one-way coffee cups that aren't likely to end up in the trash because they're edible. And we hear how bees and beekeeping are getting a boost in South Africa thanks to a new innovative type of hive.
Rural Africa is known for one thing, farming, oftentimes for food or for business. But what happens to the waste that comes from harvest or farming? Well, beside me is the banana, looking good, and I can't remember anyone that doesn't love a good banana. Now, when it's been harvested, what happens to the waste? What happens to the dry leaves that fall off? Or indeed, what happens to the leftovers? Questions you might say. But let's look at another food crop, cassava. The pulp contains a high starch content, causing an environmental problem with disposal. So what happens to waste from cassava?
The Temidire Gari Processing Corporation in Ajegunle village in Oyo State, Nigeria, is all about cassava. Over 100 people work here from dawn till dusk, most of them women. They produce several tons of ground and dried cassava powder called gari. Salauddin Ibagun is the corporation's chairman. He's been in the business for over 40 years. He's always thought of cassava peels as just that until recently. We throw the peels away. Some people come here for them and they use it to feed their animals. Sometimes they pay us. When we can't find takers, we just throw them away. Usually, gari production generates large amounts of waste. Normally, after the roots are harvested, the plant's leaves and stems are thrown away. The peels can make up to as much as 15% of the roots, and they are discarded as well. With Nigeria producing over 54 million tons of cassava annually, the amount of waste is enormous. It isn't easy to dry the peels, especially in the rainy season, so only a small part is used as animal fodder. Most cassava farmers and processors leave them in heaps to rot or burn them, which pollutes the air, soil, and groundwater. Now, scientists like Iheanacho Okeke of the International Livestock Research Institute are looking for a way to make the peels into something more useful. He says they can be turned into feed for livestock and contributes to the farmer's income.
Where it is possible. The process involves arrival of the fresh peels, sorting out stumps that could damage the drum if used. And then once they are sorted, we go into rasping. We rasp the peels to a consistency that enables pressing of water out. And that process is really key to what we are doing.
After pressing the water out, the rasp is dried and turned into a cake. Then it's pulverized and dried again. Finally, the granules are sorted. To cut down on dust, the powder is pressed into pellets of various sizes. They can be used to feed poultry, fish, pigs, goats, cattle, and sheep. Critics worry that using these peels as fodder will have a negative effect on the livestock, but researchers believe it's a win-win situation for the cassava producers and the environment. And with livestock production expected to grow more in the coming decades, processing peels could even become a billion-dollar business, a way to convert waste to wealth.
The baobab is probably Africa's most iconic tree. It can grow up to 30 meters tall and 10 meters wide. It's frequently dubbed the tree of life, or in some places, the mother of the forest. The baobab is not just an impressive sight, it's also packed with goodness. Tell us more, Joy.
Its seeds contain 6 times as much vitamin C and 5 times as much magnesium as an avocado. And people do already eat the fruit of wild baobab trees, but up to now, trees haven't been cultivated or its products marketed on a major scale. That could change. Here in Nairobi, baobab powder is all the rage, and that could be good news for the future of the tree.
Spinach, pineapple, avocado. In the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, healthy food is in. And the newest trend in superfoods, baobab powder. People love using it in smoothies. And the new superfood comes from eastern Kenya. Baobab trees as far as the eye can see. Up until very recently, James was selling orange juice at a stand on the street. Before starting his new job, he had to learn how to climb 1,000-year-old baobabs. A coach trained him to recognize weaker limbs and balance his weight appropriately. I used to just climb up the small trees. I tried climbing up the bigger ones, but a lot of people fell down and died just like that, so I was afraid. A baobab tree needs about 25 years before it starts producing the gourd-like fruit. Its edible pulp, also called monkey bread, is incredibly rich in vitamins and nutrients. In other words, foodies think it's hip. But more importantly, harvesting baobab fruit helps people here develop a sustainable source of income. The fruit used to only be eaten by locals, but now it's increasingly being sold in big cities. What would help us the most would be large orders. Small orders, like we've been getting up till now, aren't really worth the work. The powdery fruit is tangy and extremely healthy. Amisha Patel, a local Kenyan, realized the selling potential and started up a baobab company 4 years ago. Since then, she's been buying up to 60 sacks a year from James and his colleagues. But it's not only profit that matters to her.
I would love to see the tree to be like a national symbol or a protected status, because with the development that's coming around, we're afraid that it's going to demolish the trees that are actually in Kenya.
Patel takes her harvest to Nairobi. Special machines separate the baobab pulver from the seeds. The next step in the process is pressing the seeds. The extracted oil is known for its antioxidant effects and considered a cosmetic miracle.
So basically the whole process that is involved here is zero waste. We don't waste anything from the entire process.
Right now, Patel is trying to qualify for organic labeling, but she doesn't want to export her product yet.
It grows in Kenya. It should be available for Kenyans as well. So I hope that at some point, hopefully within the next 5 years, every Kenyan household should have a packet of baobab fruit powder.
And now that the fruit's qualities have been discovered, maybe Kenya will be able to protect the baobab tree, and it, in turn, will brighten their future.